The question is, should you sell a high ticket offer or should you sell a recurring revenue style of offer? And how do you know if you have the right offer, if it's good enough and ready for scale? That's what we're gonna be covering inside of today's video. My name is Josh Forti and I make these videos to help entrepreneurs get paid and be free. The offer is the most important part of your business. It's the foundation that everything else is built upon. So if you choose incorrectly or get the offer wrong, then your entire business will become more and more difficult the more clients you sign, because you're selling them into something that doesn't fit the model that you want to have or where you want to take your business. And so what ends up happening is you start to your life starts to get chaotic and hectic. You start avoiding signing clients because when you sign a client, there's chaos on the back end. And it feels like no matter how hard you try, you can't get past whatever that ceiling is that you keep hitting. However, once you get the offer correct and structure it correctly from a foundational level, now everything built on top of it becomes easier and just starts to work. And you become more powerful, meaning that every single time that you sign a client, your profitability goes up, your workload does not increase, and then oftentimes it goes down, and your business becomes simpler, not more chaotic. To do this, we use what we call an infinitely scalable offer. Now, before we get into what an infinitely scalable offer is, I do want to address the question of, do you choose high ticket or do you choose recurring? Because all an infinitely scalable offer is taking the best of both worlds and leaving the worst of both of them and combining it into one. But let's break down the difference between high ticket and recurring. Here are the pros of a high ticket offer. Let's say you sell a service and you're going to charge, let's say, $20,000 for that service, or even $10,000 for that service, right? So between $10,000 and $10,000, all right? Well, the pros of selling that service for $10,000 are that you get your money up front. And I'm gonna make this a little smaller. You get your money up front. So you don't have to wait. You have margin right now. And I like to think of money, cash, what you're charging, as energy inside of your business, right? It's like, so when you make a sale, your business is filled with energy, right? It's like new life. It's like when I always say that every time I get a Stripe notification, it never gets old, right? From the first time all the way up until current, and we've helped sell a lot of revenue for our clients, it doesn't get old. It's like, why? It's like a shot of energy. So you get that energy or that money up front. And also, because you're charging a lot, you're able to go and deliver a really good, a high quality result, because you have margin, okay? So there's a lot of benefits to that. The other benefit is that typically speaking, you get a higher quality client. Why? Well, because when you charge more, higher quality clients can afford them. What are the downsides though? Well, the downsides of charging upfront is that typically speaking, it's a little bit harder to sell because you are charging a higher amount. Second is that every month you have to go out and get a new client, because they pay you one time, you go deliver the result, and then you're back at ground zero. And so it can be feast and famine, hard to get clients, and feast and famine, hard to get clients. Well, now let's look at the recurring revenue style of offer. Well, recurring revenue, let's say you, instead of charging $10,000, let's say you were gonna charge $1,000 a month. Well, what are the pros of that? Well, the pros are that now you get money every single month, right? So you have stability and predictability with that. Second is that if you can get continuity right and people pay you every single month, that you typically have a good relationship with your clients and it's easier to fulfill for them ongoing because the expectation is that you are partnered for the long haul. However, the cons of a recurring revenue offer are, number one, it is extremely difficult to get correct. On average, the internet marketing industry, for continuity, clients cancel after between 3 and 4 months on average, and some don't even make it that long. Our business, we have about 100 clients that we work with. Our business has an over 12-month average stay time, and last year alone, we only lost 2 clients the entire year, and both of those were for a reason of, one of them was because they sold the company and the other one was because they shut down the company. So 100% of our clients that actually stayed in business and didn't sell, stayed with us. That's pretty amazing, okay? Because we do this fundamentally differently. So there's cons to this. Well, the cons are, number one, it's extremely difficult to get correct. Number two is that if you have $10,000 a month in bills or $20,000 a month in bills, you've got to go sign 10 or 20 clients before you can go and make, or, break even. And so that's very difficult to go and do and get right as well. So if we look at this through the lens and say, okay, how do we make sure that our offer makes us more powerful every time that we sell it, and we do it in such a way that allows us to decrease the complexity of the business? We have to use a different model than just one or the other. And to do that, we use what we call an infinitely scalable offer. Now, I learned this concept from Elon Musk. I have a Cybertruck behind me, I'm not sure if you can see, but what Elon did, and he's just such a fascinating entrepreneur, is he went and he was like, well, okay, wait a second. Yes, I want recurring. However, if I'm gonna have recurring and I want my fulfillment of that recurring to be simpler and easier as time goes on and not increasing complexity, meaning whether I have 5 clients or 50 clients, or in his case, whether I have 5,000 clients or 500,000 clients or buyers, my workload stays the same. What Elon did is he said, okay, instead of thinking about these as 2 separate things, he said, I'm not gonna let anybody in to my back-end offer here. No one's allowed in unless they first buy my front-end offer here. And in buying of the front-end offer here, he created the perfect customer that was very easy to fulfill on the back-end here. Essentially what he did was he combined the 2 of them to where he got paid up front. So whenever he signed a client, he had margin coming in and he was able to get a good chunk of money and then create the perfect customer for them to join his backend. What do I mean? Well, Teslas drive themselves. They have this thing called full self-driving, and it's pretty insane, all right? That costs $99 a month. Now, if you don't have a Tesla, would it make sense to pay this $99 a month? Of course not, right? The only people that this backend is made for, the $99 a month, is for people that own Tesla. If you don't own a Tesla, you wouldn't buy it. Well, how much does a Tesla cost? Well, a Tesla will cost, my Cybertruck was about $80,000. A lot of Teslas are $40,000 or $50,000, and some of them are like $120,000 or $130,000. So let's say on average, it costs anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 for a Tesla. What Elon does is he sells you the asset up front. He sells you a one-time thing where he solves a one-time problem, meaning you don't have a car that is able to drive itself. So he sells you the vehicle. And then once he's delivered an amazing product, an amazing experience for you, gotten a transformation, then he sells you into his back end of $99 a month. And Elon has absolutely no fulfillment from a time perspective on the $99 a month. And whether one person is in or 1 million people are in, it makes absolutely no difference to him. That is what we're trying to go and create, or that is what we need to go and create inside of our business as well. So my name is Josh Forti, by the way, if we've never met before, and I have a business where we work with primarily service providers, but really anyone in that in the expertise online space that does services that they can deliver virtually. And we call this an infinitely scalable offer because rather than going and saying, hey, just charge up front or just charge recurring, we combine the 2 and we say, just like Elon sells a Tesla, you're gonna go and you're gonna sell a one-time offer, a one-time high ticket amount that delivers an asset and solves someone's one-time problem. And that's key, one-time problem. Then, once you've gone and solved this problem and delivered an asset would be something like a podcast or a funnel or a graphic design system or some whatever the thing is that you deliver for them that gets them the result. Now they've paid you a lot of money, $10K, and a lot of our clients charge $20, $50, even $100,000 up front. So let's say between $10,000 and $50,000. And now they've become the perfect client for you to have a back-end continuity where you go and keep billing them every month for an ongoing problem that they have, which is the using of that asset. And our clients will charge anywhere from $1,000 a month all the way up to about $5,000 or even $10,000 a month for the ongoing continuity after people have gone and bought the front end. What this does is every single new client that comes into your business allows you to get margin up front, meaning you get that shot of energy, tons of margin, tons of profit, so you can go and execute and pay your bills. And once you have your back end up high enough, like that's where you take your margin from. But also not have to go get new clients every single month. Because once you have, let's say your bills are $15,000 a month or even $10,000 a month, once you have 10 clients, well, now your recurring revenue covers your expenses. And so if you just do some simple math, if you only sold high ticket at $10,000 and you went out and got 10 clients, then that would equal you making $100,000. That's how most people that sell high ticket, the math works. If you sold a $1,000 a month offer and you went and got 10 clients, you would make $10,000 a month, and it would take you several months to get up to that point. However, if you use an infinitely scalable offer, what ends up happening is now you charge $10,000 up front plus $1,000 per month. And when you charge the $1,000, or what the math comes out to be now, is you make $100,000 up front plus $10,000 a month. Which would you rather have? 100 grand, 10,000 a month, or both? Obviously, it's both. And here's the key thing that absolutely must happen, is that your back-end fulfillment, whenever you sign a client, must be the same whether you have 5 clients or 10 clients or 50 clients or even 100 clients, because that is what allows you to go and scale. And so the question of which type of offer should you sell? Should you do a high ticket or a recurring? We believe that for service providers and people in the online space that are selling, their skills, their knowledge, their expertise, they're working with clients, that the very best model is actually not a high ticket offer or a ongoing continuity, but rather the combination of them, which we call an infinitely scalable offer, because it allows you to go and get paid up front, deliver an amazing experience for them, and then put them into a back end where you can deliver an exceptional experience ongoing with no additional workload. And that is the key. So the answer is you should sell an infinitely scalable offer. Now, how do you know if it's good enough and ready to scale? Simply ask yourself this question. When I sign a client, does my workload increase? Does things get more complex and chaotic? Do I have that stress and anxiety and oh my gosh, now I've got all this work to do? Or when you sign a client, are you like, no, I signed a client, I onboarded them, and now put them in, put them into our back end, and they are good to go. There's no additional work, whether it's 5 or 50. If the answer is the first one, where it does create that complexity and chaos, then chances are you've gone and you've avoided selling a client before because you were worried about the chaos of the back end and life was already too chaotic, right? And it's I don't want to deal with the headache right now. Or you've gone and you've negotiated or discounted your pricing and services because you're just trying to get some money in the door, but you don't want to do too much back-end work. It's we can't do that. It's not ready for scale because every time you sell a client, your life and your business is getting more chaotic, and that doesn't scale. An infinitely scalable offer energizes you, it simplifies your business, and makes you more profitable every time you go and sell it. All right? If you have an infinitely scalable offer, it will change your entire business. And before I understood the concept of infinitely scalable offers, I was constantly chasing that next client, constantly going out there and being okay, gotta get another client this month, and then another client this month, and then another client this month. And then, it became harder to get clients, and buying cycles became longer, and all of that. And it's you will experience a whole entire new level of freedom when your continuity, your true monthly recurring revenue from your business covers your monthly expenses every single month, whether you sign a new client or not. And once that day happened for me, it was game over. Not only did every time I signed a client, I add to my back end, but I also got paid up front, and that allowed me to go and take money out of the business, make investments, hire people, build assets and infrastructure, and really pay myself the amount of money that I wanted to when I first got started into entrepreneurship. All right? Now, if you'd like to learn more about infinitely scalable offers, we host events every single month out here at my office in Denver. And Infinitely Scalable Offers is one of those events. And so we have recordings from past ones and also our schedule of events coming up. And you can check out all the details in the description or the link inside of the description. My name is Josh Forti. Like I said, I make these videos to help entrepreneurs get paid and breathe free. And if this video is helpful, I'd love it if you hit the thumbs up and leave a comment letting me know what your favorite part was. Or if you have any questions, I read all the comments. So comment down below and I will go and get back with you. All right. Thanks so much. And I'll see you in the next video.